All right guys, super stoked today. We have a South Korean MRE. This has some pretty cool things in it, including kimchi. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to compare that with our menu number 8, meatballs and marinara sauce US. Both of these are within the range of being able to eat them. They have different expiration dates. We're just a little bit past them, but as we've found out, if the MREs are stored properly, it's no big deal. And I'm talking about like 6 months. So let's get after them, see what we have in them. All right, got this convenient tear. And by the way, all the instructions and everything are on the packages, including in the back. Check that out. It tells you, apparently this thing heats up like big time, and there are all kinds of warnings. In fact, one of the ways that Google translates some of the words is fever. It's a fever pack. It's a hot pack. So that's kind of interesting. All right, let's take a look here. First of all, we have stir-fry kimchi. Kimchi is it's an old dish. They started making it in and around Korea like 1000 AD, so over 1,000 years ago now. And they started off, they would take vegetables kind of at the end of the year, kind of like we do chow chow in the South, except for we have canning, ways to can it now. Back then they didn't, of course. And they would take vegetables, cabbage, and then other vegetables, mushrooms, celery, different things they had raised, and then put it in a clay pot with spices, soy sauce, and salt, and then bury it underground. So it would pickle or ferment, and then take it out through the winter and into the spring until you got new crops, and then they would eat it. So kimchi is an old dish that the Koreans have been eating for a long time. Got pound cake here. In fact, let's take a look at that pound cake right now. Smells kind of like shortbread. Interesting. Now it's hard. It's not, when we have pound cake in the US, it's soft. This is actually way more like shortbread. Smells good, but it's just called plain old pound cake. Oh, what do we have? Okay, we have our tray here. We know from having that Chinese MRE, this tray is going to be what we put all of our menu items in ultimately. We'll probably put them out individually to start with, but you've got this little tray, so if you don't have a metal tray, you've got a box you could put your menu items in. We'll set that aside for now. These are actually chocolate balls. Well, let's take a look. Let's see what they look kind of like Junior Mints, yeah. Let's say a quick prayer and give that a try here a minute. Thanks so much, Lord God, for this day and for your loving kindness in providing this food. I ask that you bless it to my body, and thank you for this time with folks out there. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Got to try one. This would be interesting. Don't smell like anything. Not like an M&M. Yeah.
Huh.
Tastes like an M&M. I have an idea for these. Put these back in here because we might heat these up and see if we can melt them a little bit in our heat pack if there's enough room. Might have some frosting. I don't want to put the kimchi out yet because I'm going to put that in our heat pack if I can fit it. All right, here we go. We got meatloaf. That's going to be interesting. Meatloaf. It feels like sausages, but that's what it feels like in there. Again, I don't want to take it out yet because I want to heat it up. This is actually called sausages. Feels pretty much the same as the meatloaf does, so it's going to be interesting. 2 meats, and then we have our main.
Oh, those aren't even the main?
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh,
and
crazy.
we have our main. This is the fried rice, beef fried rice.
Whoa, that's a big pack.
Yeah, it's a big pack because it has the heating element already in it.
Oh.
Everything's ready to go. So, in fact, if we take a look at it from underneath, here is there's the fried rice, and then here is, well, I can't take the heater out. It's all one unit in there, and there's a string I have to pull, and then that fires this thing up. So I'm going to put the fried rice back in. We're going to heat up the meatloaf so-called. See if I can tuck everything in here. And the sausage. Oh man, I'd like to heat that kimchi up too. Let's take a look here. You know what we'll have to do? We'll have to take one of these. I'm going to open up the seasoned sausage so I can make room for kimchi. And we'll have the meatloaf, kimchi, and the fried rice in there. We'll turn that on here in a minute. But let's open our seasoned sausage. See what that looks like here. Looks like those little what were they called?
Little Smokies?
Little Smokies. Yeah, it looks like Little Smokies, doesn't it? There you go. Got a lot of juice in there. All right, let's see. I got a little on my finger. Yeah, kind of like a barbecue sauce. That's crazy. And then this is interesting. This has a resealable top to it, so I can use that as a trash bag too. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a clever MRE so far.
It is. It really is quite an interesting setup because it's all kind of self-contained. Take our chocolate, and I can squeeze that in there, I'm pretty sure. There we go. And we open this here. And here is the string. And what I do is I just... There we go. Oh, you can hear it. Okay, now I'm going to seal that back up. You hear it? It's they had all kinds of warnings. Be super careful. You hear that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's cool. Okay, we're going to let that heat up. And we'll set this aside. And now let's open our US MRE. Meatballs and marinara sauce. There we go. All right. Interesting, these are both very similar in calories. They're within 100 calories apiece. This is about 1250 and that's about 1150 on the Korean side. All right, we have our meatballs and marinara. A chocolate chip cookie.
Well, that's good looking chocolate.
That's a good looking chocolate chip cookie, heck yeah. We've got cheese spread with jalapeno. Got to get that out on the tray for sure. It's kind of fun because this is not such an old one that I won't be able to eat it. I like that. There you go, you can see the jalapenos in there. It hasn't gone bad as far as discoloring or anything goes. That's nice. There we go. Get all the goodness out. Teriyaki beef stick. This will probably be double wrapped. Yep. You got the one wrapping, and then you got the second wrapping. This appears to be a Bull's teriyaki beef stick. We'll set that aside and smoke it later. We knew that was coming, right? Got our spoon. Oh yeah, we had a spork in the Korean. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that was in with the little box. So we have our spork. We have a spoon, they have a spork. Oh my. Blueberry cobbler. We're going to leave that in because I'm going to heat that up with the main if I can fit it. We have our nutritional information and sleeve. Here is our pack to heat things up. Orange powder. We'll mix that where we can see it. Oh my, and another, look at here, Italian breadsticks or Italian breadsticks. Get those out. I think we've had those before. They're pretty darn good actually. That'll be fun. So let's do this. Let's get our pouch ready by placing first the main in. Then let's get our blueberry cobbler in there. Here lately, Ace has been out on the river getting blackberries. He's come home with a couple nice messes of blackberries, and Jackie made us a blackberry cobbler. Oh man, is that good. So we'll see what an MRE blueberry cobbler's like. All right. So we'll get this going. Just a little bit of water, doesn't take much. There we go. And we'll fold that over, let that start taking effect. Get our orange powder out here. I'm not going to make it in there. It's too difficult to stir it up good. And you definitely need to stir it up good. And I don't want to be shaking. I just rather stir. So, and that way too, y'all can see what that looks like. It says a half a canteen cup full of water. Canteen cups have been standard for many moons, since the 80s. Oh, that's got mold on it. Need to clean that up a little better. I did see something the other day in an MRE. It said US MRE. It said add a bottle of water, and it's like a bottle of water, and they meant like you're going to get a bottled water. It's like, that's weird. We never got bottled water. Of course, there wasn't bottled water when I was that age, back in the day. So we'll let oh, that smells good. It smells just like Tang. I'll set that aside. And let's do our accessory pack here. We have our moist towelette, salt, toilet paper from Lighthouse, gum, and we have our matches. Interesting, no Tabasco sauce with this one. There we go. Of course, our the meatballs have marinara sauce, so maybe they're thinking we don't need anything that way. We're going to compare sides first here. We'll kind of switch back and forth. Let's go to the Korean side. We have the smoked sausages, or the spice sausages. Just smell like barbecue sauce. Has the texture of the Vienna sausages. Don't care for that too much, but the barbecue sauce is really good. It's a tomato-based spicy barbecue sauce. That's pretty good. I enjoy the taste, texture not so much. Let's compare that to our beef stick.
That's the first time I've seen a cigar-shaped beef stick. Normally they're like just the
like
flat.
A jerky.
Yeah, like a piece of beef jerky.
That's actually good too. I have to say, I like the texture of this and the taste of this. I really like the taste of that, but not the texture so much. But this, it has that greasy film on the top of your mouth like these kinds of things do. So I would say I like that better, even though the texture isn't what I prefer. Interesting. We'll see about adding some of that to our rice. But now we have our cheese with some Italian bread. So let's give that a little. Oh, that smells a lot of oregano, maybe some sage in there too. There's a sweetness to the bread that plays well with the sage and oregano. I'm thinking it's sage anyway. That's not too bad. Just in and of itself, that's not bad at all. But we got to try it with some jalapeno cheese dip. That's a good combo, man. I like that. Definitely like that. That's enjoyable. Yeah, it's got a little kick to it at the end with that jalapeno. Not too shabby at all. Cleanse the old palate. So let's move over to desserts here. We've got our pound cake, so-called. I'm used to fluffy, moist pound cake. Your mom makes the best pound cake. Doesn't smell like much, other than a little shortbread. It's not like crunchy like a shortbread is. It's like a mix between a cake and shortbread. The taste, it tastes a little bit vanilla. It's just not. It's not anything memorable. It's sweet. It's a fun dessert bread, but it's all right. It's good. I'll be anxious to put a little of that chocolate on there to see if that doesn't kick it into high gear. So move over to American here. We've got our chocolate chip cookie. A lot of chocolate chips in there. If you like that kind of thing. That's kind of interesting because it's similar in that there's just not a lot of taste to it. It's definitely a cookie, definitely, got some sweetness to it, but it's pretty nondescript. The chocolate is real light. There's not much chocolate taste, and I got a bite. That first bite had a lot of chocolate in it. It's fine. It's fine. But between the two, it's kind of a toss-up, quite frankly.
Wow. Kind of unimpressive.
Yeah. Nothing noteworthy. Now, another thing here that you see right away is I got a drink with the US MRE, nothing with the Korean MRE, but that might, sometimes on the international side of things, they do things differently, obviously, and they might issue drinks and different things in the morning, when you pick up your packs. So I do know that can happen. Maybe we have some viewers from over there could tell us how that works in the military, but I like a drink with my MRE. Interesting, no coffee with this MRE. That's fine with me because it's hot today, but interesting that we don't have any coffee there. So I think I could do a better job stirring that here. Now I added a half a canteen cup, which is what they told me. That first drink was tastes like weak Gatorade. Yeah, supposed to be more like a Gatorade type drink, not a. If you're going to get one of these and you want to have a tang kind of a drink where you really taste that orange, and not Gatorade where you can barely taste it, do about 2/3 or half of the water. That'll make it taste better. Because if you add the half a canteen cup, that's too weak for me. I don't care for it that much. Well, our mains should be about heated up. Let's see what they look like. All right, so we're going to get our US MRE out first here. Here are our meatballs. We will get those going here, out and on the tray. Let's see what our meatballs look like. Oh, no, that looks pretty good right there. Oh, yeah. And that's warm, too, I'll tell you that, right? At least on this side of the packaging, it's nice and toasty. We got a meatball blocking the way there. There we go. All right. Let's see what blueberry cobbler looks like. Oh, look at there. It's got your bread, got your blueberries, more bread. Nice. Very nice. Oh, yeah, and that's nice and warm, too. All right. There we go. Got to get all of it out of there. Well, here we go. We start. We'll save our dessert for last. Take a look at our meatballs and marinara sauce. It looks good. The meatballs are interesting. Definitely smell it. It smells like pizza. The taste is spot on. Good marinara. It's very pleasant. Very, very good. The meat, again, that texture. It's like it's emulsified meat and then formed into meatballs, which, that's probably what you're going to get in an MRE anyway, no matter where it's from. That's just the way it is. The texture leaves a little bit to be desired, but you have that meatball with the Italian bread. That's really good. That bread just elevates everything. There's just a really good flavor to that bread. That's very interesting. Now let's take a little of our cheese, mix it with some of the meatball, have a little bread. Wow, that's like having the cheese put on top, and then the cheese has a little kick, so it adds some heat to the item. That is dang good. Wow, this meatballs and marinara. If you get a chance to get one of these, that's a hit right there. I really, that main is really, really good. Wow, that is tasty. I want to save some room for our other one here, so let's go over to dessert. Let's see here, a little blueberry cobbler action. You can see the big old blueberries in there. That's kind of cool. I probably should have cleansed the palate. Let me do that in a minute. It still tastes a little heat.
Little spicy meatballs and blueberries there together.
That didn't do me any favors, that's for sure. Interesting, because when we first had MREs, they didn't have anything like this. If you got fruit, it was freeze-dried, and you'd have to add the water to it and wait for it to reconstitute. A lot of strawberries, a lot of peaches, as I recall. So no blueberries, but this is good. That cake and everything, I think this is going to be fun. I think that's more like what it's supposed to taste like. The cake, it's like it has a few little nuts or something in it. There's little crunchies in that cake. Otherwise, it's real mealy. I don't care for that texture. You know, that's kind of what it is with an MRE, though. It's packaged. It's supposed to last for a long time. You're not going to have the textures of a gourmet meal or eating at home or anything like that. But for out in the field, you're mainly going for taste, and you're mainly going to throw it in the pie hole and keep moving. That's good. That's fun. Overall, this has been a good
And
meal.
it's interesting that they gave you 2 desserts with that one.
Yeah, you know what? That's right. 2 desserts.
That's meats and dessert.
That's America. Okay. Now, here is our stir-fry kimchi. I'm going to put it out on the tray, and then we can add it to the box later if we want. Oh wow, that's interesting. I don't know what I expected. I've honestly never had kimchi before. I've just read about it. I've heard about it. Whew.
It's very fragrant coming out, man. It just like, what's that, garlic or something?
Yeah, it's
or some sort of vegetable. The onions.
Oh yeah, I can smell it now. Yeah, that smells really good. It is. I'm telling you guys, it is flat out hot. I mean, yeah, you can see the cabbage there. Look at that.
I wonder if that's the thing, because both Asian meals had emphasis on how hot it was. I wonder if they like really like their food hot.
Well, you know, in Korea it's cold.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
so
they
it's
have
overcome
cold winters. Yeah. That may be
cold,
exactly
wow.
what it is. Yeah. There you go. There are, you know, and I don't know, every kimchi dish can be made a little differently. And again, it was in the day, back in the day, they were hungry through the winter because like the winters were bad. So they would take all those vegetables they had left over and put them in the pot. So, and bury them. Ferment, they stay a little warm from the fermentation. So we've come such a long ways. In fact, what I was reading too, in the 50s, it got more standardized because of the Korean War. The South Korean Army wanted to provide their troops with more traditional and food that they could be used to eating, or they were used to eating. And so they did a commercial type kimchi, which was the first time that had happened. It was in the 50s. So now you can get it canned, you can get it made institutionally, where before it was just homemade, family by family, their own recipe, passed down kind of a thing. Let's see about this here. This is the rice dish, rice with beef. Look at the steam. I mean, it's just, oh wow, check that out. You've got your corn, peas, little bits of beef, carrots. In fact, let's give that a try first.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
See the corn and peas and all the individuals.
Yeah.
It's not just a nondescript mash.
Right, right. Yeah. You can see the individual rice pieces. First of all, it's very hot. It's a little bland. It needs salt or soy sauce, or add this stuff with it. In fact,
yeah, that's probably what it's meant.
Let's grab another menu item out. First of all, let's see if our chocolate, if that idea worked for melting these down a little bit. Nah, not really. Must add them too close to the top. They're a little bit melted, but not.
Those are hot.
Yeah,
if you grab them,
yeah.
Mackerel.
They are hot.
They just didn't I think the hard candy kept them intact. Though.
Mm-hmm. It did.
I
could have maybe mashed them up a little bit, but that's all right. We'll give that a try. And then finally, all right, let's check out our meatloaf. We'll put it on the side here. Now, you know what we think of in America when we think of meatloaf, right? So it looks more like meatballs, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, and it has, but it does have some vegetables in it, like you would think of with meatloaf. Interesting. There you go.
Huh. I'll bet. I mean, because if the rice is kind of bland, those all look like strong flavored.
Right. I think it's supposed to go together. This is cool. Now, this thing here, I got to show you this. This thing is still sputtering and spitting. But look at that. It's like a bubble wrap on both sides, and that's hot. Both sides are just extremely hot. That is very, very interesting.
So they have to overcome the really, really cold winters to heat their food.
That's it. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's tuck into a little kimchi first. Again, I think I'm going to really enjoy this. I've never actually had it that I recall. Oh, all right. I love vegetables with a crunch. Ooh, that is spicy.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why they gave you bland rice.
There's a little bit of sour to it. Ooh, that is really, really good. Wow. That is a great dish. Just overall, I would eat. Oh, it's very, it has a bite to it.
Got a pepper.
You're going to want some bland rice to cut it a little bit. Ooh, I'm not used to that. But it is so good. It really is good. Okay, we've tasted that. Let's taste our meatloaf. Again, it has a little bit of corn to it, some vegetables in there. Ooh, that's really good. Wow. That's surprising. I mean, I don't even, what is that? That tastes really, I mean, that is really good. Dadgummit. You want to put some of that over there. There's something really good in the meatloaf package. Wow. The texture's like the sausage, but the flavor is so good, I don't even think about the texture. Man, this is quite exciting, I have to say. You can take the kimchi, put it on one side of your rice, and make that your hot dish, right? Your spicy dish in the Chinese restaurant kind of a thing. I know it's not Chinese food, but and then you can switch over, do some barbecue right here, and that's definitely like a marinara barbecue.
It's kind of a cool system because they give you the, like I said, the plain rice and then 3 different really saucy, strong flavored sides to go with it.
And they're so distinct and they're so good separately. I suppose you could mix them, and we'll have to try by mix, but man, individually, each component is really, really tasty. This is very, very cool. This is one of the tastier and more interesting individual MREs I've had on an internationally. So this is quite surprising. Okay, we gotta get our sausage stick here. Let's make that bite work. We've got a little bit of everything here.
Especially with how disappointing the portions of the Chinese one were. I mean, the flavor was good, but it was small, and it seems like it has an adequate,
yeah.
like,
it's only off from the US MRE by about 100 calories, so that's good altogether. That's crazy because the individual components are wonderful, but when you put them all together, it's like, whoa, this is just a whole nother meal. This is really, really good. Well, cleanse the palate. Let's try our dessert. All right. So a little pound cake, as they call it, with some chocolate. That makes the pound cake more interesting, and it's nice because you could put more chocolate in bites or less chocolate in bites depending on what you like. That's a fun way to do it. But I think next time I would not open the chocolate. They call it chocolate balls. That's kind of interesting. But I think if I get it in another Korean MRE, I'd leave the package shut, put it in the heater, because that thing's still steaming. I mean, it's literally still bubbling. You can see things bubbling up in there. Let those melt down good, crunch them up, and then pour it over the top of the pound cake. That would be
like a sauce.
Yeah, there you go, like a sauce. Well, guys, wow. Let's cleanse the old palate. I got gum with the US MRE, I got matches, I got salt, which I didn't need to use, 2 desserts, cheese spread, and the main is really quite good. Asa, would you like a piece of gum?
Sure, thank you.
Cheers. I have to say though, with those mains, even though this has the 2 desserts, this kind of has 2 desserts with the chocolate and the shortbread, or the pound cake, but because of the overwhelming kapow of these items to add to the rice, the win goes to South Korea for sure. Man, if I can get my hands on another one of these, I'm going to do it because this is really, really tasty. Well, we've got some more comparisons. Let's get on to the next one.